All right, to a double downer as double mergers spark more job loss fears. Just today, Campbell Soup saying that it's buying Bolthouse Farms for more than $1.5 billion. Earlier, you had health insurer Wellpoint saying that it's inking a deal to buy Amerigroup for nearly $5 billion, largely all cash. My next guest warns beware of these kind of buyouts because they don't bring with them more jobs. Larry Glazer, you say they actually could lead to job cuts, right?
Sure, that's right, Neil. Well, today we see two very different companies in two very different industries announcing two very different deals. But they both tell us a lot about the state of the economy, the state of the job market, or in this case, the lack thereof, and the state of what is to come. You know, in this case, we see companies that have been very frugal, so they're sitting on a lot of cash. They need to put that money to work. And they lack the confidence to grow organically like they traditionally would, hiring, investing, building their businesses. So they're more inclined to acquire other businesses, which are considered a safer bet. And in this case, when we see these deals, the track record of these deals is not very good in terms of job creation. It may translate into better earnings for these companies as they cut costs. You know, a little dirty secret on Wall Street is when you see certain keywords in press releases like synergies and redundancies, you don't want to be one of those synergies or redundancies because that really means you're going to lose your job.
But it also shows that if companies have their preference here, in an environment like this, they could expand plant and equipment and all of that, hire more people, or they could take whatever currency they've got, in this case their stock, and just buy it. Normally, that's right. That's not very advantageous for the economy.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, Neil, companies are going to navigate the environment that is provided for them. And in this case, they can finance debt very inexpensively because, as any saver knows, interest rates are very low. Also, credit is readily available for large companies, but it is not available for small businesses. So it is more advantageous for a large company to acquire a smaller business. So, again, we see a whole series of reasons in the environment why you will see continued mergers and acquisitions, not just in these industries. You know, it's interesting. You see a situation like Campbell Soup, which is a really slow growth business. You know, just because I like chunky beef stew doesn't mean it translates into high corporate profits. And in this case, it hasn't. But by buying a competitor, they can effectively grow their business. They can't do that organically unless they're willing to take some risk. They need confidence in the environment. And with so much uncertainty on the horizon, they're unwilling to do that. You know, the Wellpoint deal is a totally different situation. It is a situation of growth of healthcare expenses, really. And that's one area, unfortunately, where we are seeing growth in this economy. And we see a lot of jobs here being combined, being overlapped. And, again, there'll be a lot of redundancy in this particular acquisition.
And that's just what we're going to look into now. As always, Larry, a pleasure seeing you. Be well.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Well, that aforementioned Wellpoint Amerigroup buyout means fewer insurance companies looking over a law meant to look out for everyone. And that leaves Gretchen Hamel very worried. Why, Gretchen?
Well, it's just because of the uncertainty here of what's going to be happening over the course of the next few months as this law continues to shake out, take effect, and insurance companies start maybe merging even more. There are some deals to be had here, and it benefits the insurance company, but at the end of the day, it doesn't benefit those low-income earners or those who actually need these benefits.
One way or the other, Gretchen, I look at it, the premiums are going to go up. Maybe with the health care laws, you know, stamp of approval from the Supreme Court, maybe not as much as that originally could have been the case. You might pay more via the government regardless. Given the benefit of the doubt to this decision, trying hard here, it's not as if premiums just stop skyrocketing, right?
Absolutely. I think Gallup released a poll last week, or not a poll, but a research last week stating that those over 26 have actually lost their insurance. The amount of people who are insured has actually gone down over the course of the past year because employers are dropping their insurance. Why? Because of the uncertainty, because of the cost involved. That has been the #1 problem with this healthcare law the entire time, is that the American public knows that they can't afford it, and we know as taxpayers we can't afford it.
Do you get a sense, though, from a lot of these companies, though, that they're not going to suck it up? In other words, they're looking at this and saying, I have a choice between paying much higher premiums through my health care provider or paying the government penalty for not providing health care, and I'll take the latter because it's cheaper in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are looking at that, and they're running the numbers. At the end of the day, you can just pay the penalty and go on about your way, and it's cheaper, and it affects your bottom line.
Now, in the meantime, for those health insurers like Wellpoint and others who said, look, we're going to still cover, of course now they have to because of the law, and it's been upheld by the Supreme Court, we're going to still cover you for pre-existing conditions, we're going to still cover your children up to age 26 to live with you, et cetera, et cetera. All that comes at a price, right? I mean, they'll do it, but you're going to pay through the nose for it, right?
Exactly. They see an opportunity here where people are going to be getting a penalty or they have to have a health insurance. Here's a way that they can make a buck, and they're going to take total advantage of it. Again, the loser on this is those who really need these benefits.
Amazing. Okay, Gretchen Hamel, thank you in D.C.
Thank you.
All right, 20 million shades of gray.